Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Cindy and today we are making sourdough starter. So if you're watching this video, you probably on the sourdough bandwagon or about to join the sourdough bandwagon, and you're wondering, okay, I want to start making my own sourdough but I don't have any starter. It's really easy. Like, some people just make it complicated, but really it's just fermented flour. That's it. So once you have your starter, then you can make the also famous artisan bread. You can make different types of bread. I make sandwich bread as well and rolls, and I use the discard when I'm not baking bread to enhance my scones. I make crackers out of it. I've got a couple of recipes that I've already done on how to use the sourdough starter, and I'll link them down below. But let's get started on how to actually make it. So you start by getting a jar that's clear so that you can see the starter growing, and it also needs to have a breathable lid. I'm actually going to remove that seal to make it breathable so that the starter can actually feed off the environment and grow. And you just need a scale, and then you need your some warm water, and then you need your flour. So I'm going to be using half whole wheat flour and half plain flour, but you can use any combination you want. I would suggest though that you use whole wheat or a bread flour, because it will help your starter to grow like in the first stages. So anyway, you take 50 grams of whole wheat flour and 50 grams of plain flour, and then you mix them, right? And then you zero the scale, and then measure in 100 grams, not 100 mils, 100 grams of lukewarm water, and then you just mix it up. So basically that's it. Then you just mark the level of the starter, and you put it in a nice warm spot on your counter, and then check on it the next day. So on the second day, you may or may not see some results. Like this was actually the second time I was making it, making sourdough starter, and it was in winter. So there was a little bit of bubbles, but not a lot of growth. But when I made my first batch in summer, I had quite different results. So the 100 grams of flour and the 100 grams of water made 200 grams of starter. So now you're just going to discard half of it, making sure that you now remain with the 100 grams of starter, and then you're going to feed it. Feed it is just giving it more water and more flour, right? So when you feed your starter, it grows, and when it grows and you don't use it, you have to discard if you want to remain with the same amount of starter. So we want to remain, or we want to make 300 grams of starter. So I find it easier when I'm feeding the starter to first mix the starter and the water until the starter completely dissolves, and then add flour. I think it incorporates better. But anyway, yes, that's what we did. So now we've got 100 grams of starter, 100 grams of lukewarm water, and 100 grams of flour, which is made of 50% whole wheat and 50% plain flour. So you mark the level of the starter again and place it on your counter, and then check on it the next day. So on day 3, you can actually start to see significant growth, and it's starting to bubble, and you just do the same thing. So you take out again 100 grams of starter and discard the rest, and then you mix it with 100 grams of lukewarm water and 50 grams of whole wheat flour and 50 grams of plain flour, and then mark the level on the bottle, and then place it on the counter and check on it the next day. So by day 4, you might start to see some changes in your sourdough, meaning it is growing, but it's not growing as much. That's okay, just feed it as usual. And yeah, like I said, it depends really on the room temperature of your house or what type of the year it is. But between day 4 and 5, you might see those changes. So you feed the starter as before, but you might notice that usually around day 5 thereabouts, you see that it's reaching peak fermentation. So it's not taking the whole, like a whole 24 hours to double in size. So this is then your cue to start feeding it twice a day, and your starter is almost ready. So I think by day 6 and day 7, when you feed it twice a day, then yeah, your starter should be ready. You will actually see that it's ready, because when you look at it, it more than doubles in size after about 6 hours. Yeah, 6 hours should be the time it takes for it, if you feed it, for it to rise up. And then when you actually take the starter and you place it in a jar of water, a glass of water, you can actually see it floating. So if it passes the floating test, it's ready to use. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.